we're going to go over how to generate a lesson plan using Colleague AI. So once you get into the platform, you're going to go to this landing page. So this is the Brainstorm Ideas landing page. Essentially, this is the main chat function of Colleague AI. So anything you can do within the platform, you can do here. We're going to go to a different tab because there's less scaffolding you have to do in the lesson plan generation if you go to this tab rather than if you just go to this chat feature. So we're going to click on Generate Content. And here you're going to see 4 different tabs: Lesson Plan, Rubric, Slides, and Template Library. So if you want to create a lesson plan, you're going to go to the Lesson Plan tab. I'm going to tab over to a different page because I've already done the typing for the lesson plan, so you don't have to sit here and watch me type. So the nice thing about lesson plan generation in Colleague AI is you don't have to do the scaffolding within the chat function. It does the scaffolding for you. So it's going to ask you for the title. It's going to ask you for the learning objectives. So this is a mock lesson that I was given by a teacher. So it's about understanding polynomials, and you can read the learning objectives for yourself. Essentially, the more specific you are about what you're looking for, the better the lesson plan is going to be because it's going to know what you're looking for. Although I'll show you when we get to the generated lesson plan, you can do further scaffolding and further iterations of the lesson plan as we move on. We're going to pick the subject, we're going to pick the grade level, we're going to pick the state, and then you can also put other requirements. So part of the lesson plan needs to include group work, and please also provide multilingual support. The other requirements section is essentially things that it didn't ask you previously, you can put in there. So it didn't ask you if you needed group work or multilingual support, you just put that in the other requirements. I skipped over learning standards for a specific reason, because what is nice about the system is as you put in information like what subject and the grade level and the state, it's going to whittle down the learning standards. So it's not going to give you like 3rd grade math learning standards because we're working on 9th through 12th grade mathematics. So you'll see the standards already uploaded. It's going to give you relevant standards. So we have all our information in. We are going to click Draft Plan. So on this page, you can see it is already starting to work. The nice thing about the Colleague AI lessons is they're very thorough. So it's going to give you an intro, it's going to give you the materials, the warm up, the cool down, questions to ask. There's so many features along with this, but for the lesson plan itself, it's going to be very thorough. And what I like to say is it is quality enough where you can just have the AI generate it, you can go in front of the class, and it's going to be a very successful lesson. But with anything, we always recommend adding your own personal touch, right? You have the context for the classroom that the AI doesn't. So if there's certain things that your group of students work really well with, like they really like certain questions or they really like certain aspects of lesson plans, you can go and add that, and we encourage it. So there's 3 things I want to show. So the first thing is on the right-hand side is the Claire AI. This is the AI. You can go here and you can say, wow, I really liked this part, or I really need you to make this edit. You can go into the Claire AI and make those edits. You can also come over to the left-hand side where the lesson plan itself is, and you can do AI commands. So let's say we're going to go down to cool down, right? So let's say I really like this equation right here. I'm going to go to AI commands. I can say, this is great. Please add more. So like add more questions or add more of a specific thing that I highlight. It can do that. It can also do translation. It can simplify. It can summarize, synthesize. It can expand, fix spelling and grammar. Anything that you want to do, have the AI do, you can just type it in and it's going to do it. You can see down at the bottom, we have our language support, which is great. We have our group work up here, which is awesome. So it did exactly what we asked it to do. So that's the first thing I wanted to show. The second thing, I won't go into the actual generation of it, but things that you can do straight from a lesson plan. You can have it simulate, which we'll show in a second. You can have it generate a podcast, and you can have it generate slides. So if you create this lesson plan, it's like, great, now I need to make a presentation for the students. You just click on generate slides, and it's going to take you over here. And this is a different video that we already have posted on how to do this, but you simply click on that. It's going to generate some slides for you, which is fantastic. But we're going to go back to the lesson plan because I want to show one last thing. If this is a new topic that you're teaching, or you're curious how the lesson plan is going to go in the classroom, you can click this simulate button. What this is going to do is it's going to simulate the conversation in the classroom. So it's going to have questions that you ask, student responses, how you would respond to those questions, and just kind of how the conversation would go in the classroom. It gives you a hint and insight into how this lesson will go in the classroom without actually having to be in the classroom. So you're just even more prepared as you go in. So it takes a little bit of time because we have multiple AIs that are conversing with each other, what this conversation is going to look like. So in Colleague AI, if you have kind of that gray flashing screen, that means that the AI is thinking. So as you can see, Elena is a student and the teacher is Miss Johnson. Miss Johnson, I have a question about the rational equation that we discussed. I understand why this, and then after response, one more question. There's a reply from Mrs. Johnson, which is taking the place of the teacher. We have Noah, we have a different student, Miss Johnson, Liam. Basically, this is going to simulate how it goes in the classroom. Now, it's not perfect, you can't predict the future, but it gives you a good idea what questions might come up so that you're even more prepared as a teacher using this newly generated lesson plan. This isn't all the features of lesson plans in Colleague AI. There's plenty of videos on the website displaying those different features, but this is the wonder of Colleague AI generated lessons, and I hope you enjoy.